This episode contains descriptions of missing children and references to sensitive family and investigative matters. Listener discretion is advised. On the morning of May 2nd, 2025, in the rural community of Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia, two young siblings vanished. 6-year-old Lilly, with shoulder-length light brown hair and bangs, and 4-year-old Jack, with short blondish hair, were last seen near their home on Gairloch Road. What began as a frantic local search quickly became one of the most intensive missing persons investigations in Nova Scotia's history. The details and the unanswered questions have gripped the province and the country. This is Northern Dark, true Canadian crime. And today, we will be looking at the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. At 12:25 p.m., May 2nd, 2025, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police issued a public statement about the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, asking anyone with information to come forward. The children were last seen earlier that morning near their home. Police initially said they believed the siblings had wandered away from their home on foot and noted there was no immediate evidence of abduction. By 4:55 p.m., the RCMP upgraded the case to a vulnerable missing persons advisory for Pictou County, citing the children's young ages and the potential risks from the wooded and rural terrain. Authorities urged the public to stay away from the immediate search area to allow emergency crews to work without obstruction. That afternoon and evening, officers, search and rescue teams, and community members began combing the area on foot, with drones and ATVs deployed to cover more ground quickly. RCMP vehicles were stationed at key points along Gairloch Road, and a command post was established near the property. The siblings' mother, Malia Brooks Murray, told CTV News she remained hopeful. "We just want them home as soon as possible." She described the night of May 2nd as one of the worst nights of her life. "I didn't have them in their beds, and I don't want to go another night without them." Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston also issued a statement. "People in Pictou County and across Nova Scotia are praying for a positive outcome for two missing children. Our first responders and volunteers are working tirelessly during this 24/7 operation." Throughout that first day, RCMP confirmed that road checks were being conducted in the surrounding area, neighbors were being interviewed, and officers were reviewing security camera footage from nearby homes and businesses. The initial focus was on finding any sign of the siblings before darkness fell. On May 3rd, at least 100 searchers, a mix of police officers, ground search and rescue personnel, and trained volunteers, scoured the area surrounding the Sullivan home. The property and its outbuildings were examined repeatedly, and the search extended into the surrounding woods, fields, and water sources. Police dogs were deployed to track possible scent trails, while drones and helicopters scanned the terrain from above. RCMP roadblocks were set up along Gairloch Road and nearby routes to monitor traffic and speak with passing motorists. Search teams methodically covered sections of dense forest, drainage ditches, and shoreline, marking cleared areas with bright tape. By May 4th, the search force had grown to 160 people, with additional support from neighboring districts. RCMP Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon confirmed that, despite the expanded search perimeter, there had been no confirmed sightings of Lilly or Jack. That same day, the children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, told media outlets he hoped authorities would closely monitor the New Brunswick border and local airports in case the children had been taken out of the province. Over the next several days, the search continued with intensity. Teams worked in shifts to maintain a round-the-clock presence in the area, aided by community members who provided food and supplies. Search coordinators reviewed mapping data and adjusted routes to ensure no ground was left unchecked. On May 7th, after 5 days of continuous operations, police announced the search effort would be scaled back. McKinnon said it was unlikely the children were still alive given the elapsed time and environmental conditions. Despite this, investigators stressed that the missing persons case remained active. On May 18th, a renewed large-scale search was organized, bringing together 115 volunteers alongside RCMP personnel. The operation revisited key areas, including wooded sections, bodies of water, and rural paths previously examined, in hopes of uncovering new leads. Lilly Sullivan is 6 years old. She has shoulder-length light brown hair with bangs, and on the day she vanished, may have been wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, and pink boots. Her younger brother, Jack Sullivan, is 4 years old, with short blondish hair. He was last seen wearing blue dinosaur boots, a distinctive detail that has been repeated in public appeals. The siblings live with their mother, Malia Brooks Murray, their stepfather, Daniel Martell, and a younger baby sister named Meadow. Family members have publicly confirmed that Jack was on the autism spectrum, which may have made him more vulnerable in unfamiliar environments. Their paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, has been one of the most outspoken family members since their disappearance. Speaking to the Globe and Mail, she said she was concerned that warning signs may have been missed before the children went missing, and that she wanted answers about how government agencies responded to concerns about their home life. She also questioned how the RCMP handled the earliest stages of the investigation. "I think the public has a right to know," Gray said. It was later confirmed that a child protection worker had visited the Sullivan home in the months before the disappearance, following concerns raised by someone at the children's school. The nature of those concerns and the findings of the investigation remain shielded by privacy laws. Gray has said she wants to know exactly what the school reported, whether it was just some bruises they saw on Jack, or if there were other issues involving Lilly. Media outlets have reported that Jack appeared to have a black eye in 2 separate photographs taken in 2024. The children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, stated on social media that one of those injuries had been caused by Lilly during play. The case has also drawn attention from Nova Scotia's minister responsible for child protection, Scott Armstrong, who confirmed he had reviewed the children's file and described the situation as weighing heavily on the province, particularly for those in Pictou County. On May 28, nearly 4 weeks after the children were first reported missing, the RCMP disclosed that investigators had obtained surveillance footage showing Lilly and Jack Sullivan in public with family members on May 1st, the day before they vanished. While police did not reveal the location, the children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, later told CBC News that the footage came from a business in New Glasgow, a town roughly 30 minutes from Lansdowne Station. Martell stated that the video captured himself, the children's mother, baby Meadow, and the 2 missing children together. He emphasized that the specific location could not be disclosed due to the active nature of the investigation. Investigators have not confirmed whether the footage provided any additional clues about the children's demeanor or physical condition that day. The RCMP also did not state what time the family was recorded or whether they were seen interacting with anyone outside their household. The release of this information marked one of the few publicly confirmed events in the 24 hours leading up to Lilly and Jack's disappearance, helping establish a more precise investigative timeline. On June 11, 2025, the RCMP provided one of their most comprehensive public updates on the search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan. The case had grown into one of the most resource-intensive missing persons investigations in Nova Scotia in recent years. According to the update, more than 11 specialized RCMP units were actively engaged and joined by the National Centre for Missing Persons, the Canadian Centre for Child Protection, and multiple provincial and municipal police agencies from across Canada. This level of coordination underscored the seriousness of the case and the RCMP's commitment to exhausting every lead. Investigators had collected hundreds of hours of surveillance video from areas around Lansdowne Station, with a focus on footage taken along Gairloch Road between April 28th at 12 o'clock p.m. and May 2nd at 12 o'clock p.m. They had formally interviewed 54 individuals, several of whom had consented to polygraph examinations. By this stage in the investigation, the RCMP had received and followed up on 488 public tips. The search of the family's property was described as extensive, covering every aspect of the residence, the surrounding grounds, all outbuildings, as well as nearby septic systems, wells, mine shafts, and culverts. In addition, police had obtained numerous judicial authorizations to seize and examine electronic devices and other materials that could hold critical information. Corporal Sandy Matharu, the lead investigator, emphasized the scale and intensity of the work, stating, "We have a very coordinated and deliberate approach to make certain all information is meticulously scrutinized, prioritized, and actioned to ensure nothing is missed. We're committed to doing what is necessary to locate Lilly and Jack and advance the investigation, which may take longer than we all hoped." Despite these exhaustive efforts, Matharu confirmed that the search efforts, including ground and aerial sweeps, had not revealed any new areas of interest. By August 2025, tensions within the extended family were spilling into the public domain. On August 12, 2025, Newsweek published an interview with the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, in which she called for a public inquiry into the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. She voiced deep concern over what she believed were missed warning signs before the children vanished, and questioned the actions of both Nova Scotia's Child Protection Services and the RCMP during the earliest stages of the investigation. "I think the public has a right to know," she told the Globe and Mail in a separate interview. Gray questioned whether visible injuries to Jack in the past, including a black eye seen in photographs, had been properly investigated. According to Gray, the school had raised concerns months before the disappearance, prompting a visit from a child protection worker. Privacy laws have prevented the public release of that investigation's findings. The Newsweek article also noted that Jack's stepfather, Daniel Martel, had posted on social media that one of Jack's injuries was caused by Lilly. Martel later told media he had passed a polygraph test and that police had cleared him as a suspect. Adding to the public's unease, one neighbor told reporters they observed unusual activity on the property during the night the children disappeared. According to their account, a vehicle was seen coming and going multiple times in the early morning hours. RCMP have not confirmed the specifics of this sighting, but it remains one of the most discussed tips in community conversations about the case. On August 14th, the RCMP told Global News that the investigation into the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan remains intensive. They said more than 700 tips have now come in. Each one is being carefully reviewed and prioritized by the Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit, with additional support from agencies across the country. The Province of Nova Scotia is offering a reward of up to $150,000 for information that leads to the safe return of missing siblings Lilly and Jack Sullivan, or to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for their disappearance. I'm Mark. Welcome back to Northern Dark.
And I'm Leah. Thank you for joining us once again.
Researching the disappearance of children is always tough. Even after months, the unanswered questions seem to multiply.
Yeah, and we've been following every official update. The most recent was from August 12th, 2025. A Newsweek article where the children's grandmother, Belinda Gray, called for a public inquiry. She questioned how Child Protection Services handled earlier concerns and how the RCMP managed the first days of the investigation.
And she also brought up that Jack had injuries in the past, including a black eye. Their stepfather, Daniel Martel, said one of those injuries was caused by Lilly, but the broader concern from Gray was about whether warning signs were acted on. The school reported the concerns to authorities, but did they act?
You have to assume they did. From the publicly available details, we know that the authorities knew of the bruises, but the children remained with the mother and stepfather.
Maybe it wasn't enough? Well, we won't know until after the investigation.
It does seem like someone may have dropped the ball, and I say this because Nova Scotia's minister, responsible for child protection, Scott Armstrong, when he said, "The situation is weighing heavily on the province, particularly for those in Pictou County."
And that was after reviewing the file? It sounds like that more could have been done to keep Jack and Lilly safe. The RCMP has recently said that they have interviewed people and reviewed more surveillance footage.
What can you tell us about that?
Right. The RCMP have said they've received over 700 tips now. They've also reiterated they're working with every available resource. But no mention of a suspect or Lilly and Jack.
There's also that detail, and it stuck with me, about possible overnight activity on the property the night the kids went missing. It hasn't been confirmed by the RCMP, but it's something people keep bringing up.
I couldn't find any more information on that while researching for this podcast, but I did watch a CBC interview with the stepfather, Daniel Martel, and he mentioned in the interview that he took a polygraph and passed, and that the police have cleared him as a suspect. And that's all the updates we have for now.
Well, if you have any information about the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, please go to our show notes for the RCMP contact information.
Follow us on X and YouTube at Northern Dark TCC. Please rate and review the podcast on Apple and Spotify, and share it with your friends and family to keep these cases in the public eye.
Again, thank you for welcoming us into your lives and for listening to our podcast. We'll see you back here next Monday for another case. Until then, take care of each other.